What's going on, everyone? So the Los Angeles Lakers take on the Phoenix Suns today, which Lakers play Phoenix a lot over the next few weeks, right? They already played Phoenix once in preseason, play them today, and then they have 2 games against them in their first 5 to start the season, which is crazy and wild. But nonetheless, Lakers are taking on the Phoenix Suns. Also, it's the first game of a back-to-back, which I think is wild that they're giving them back-to-backs in preseason. But nonetheless, that's what we're getting. That's what we're going to have. So this game is supposed to be a dress rehearsal. This game is supposed to be J.J. Redick kind of specifically targeting offensive and defensive game plans and schemes to the Phoenix Suns in preparation for that first game of the season. And just, of course, the season going forward, right? Because, playing Phoenix, you're going to operate a different way than if you're playing Minnesota, right? So kind of having these different looks, kind of having this preparation, game to game, team to team. I am really excited for it because that was something we haven't had in a while of hey, no, we're playing this team. We need to attack them and defend them this way, as opposed to, hey, we're playing this team. We need to attack and defend them this way, right? Really like that. But nonetheless, the last Phoenix Laker game in the preseason game was the Lakers' second preseason game. And yes, they lost. They lost by 4. It was 118 to 114. You watch that game, Lakers dominated Phoenix with the starters. I mean, Lakers were up by 12, right, at halftime, and it was because of the starters. That was the first game in which LeBron James and Anthony Davis played, and they were monsters. Everybody played well except for Reeves, at least in the starting unit. But Reeves still had a good game. He wasn't bad. It's just shooting-wise. I should better preface that, right? He didn't have a bad game. He just, again, shot extremely poorly. But you look at what he provided. Gave you 6 rebounds, 7 assists, as well as 2 steals with 0 turnovers. Every starter was a plus. Austin Reeves was a plus 11, D'Angelo Russell was a plus 13, Rui Hachimura was a plus 10, Anthony Davis plus 15, and then LeBron was the lowest with a plus 9, and he still had a very good game. Right? This was a game where, you go across the board. Reeves 9, 6, and 7, D'Lo 14, 2, and 4, 6 of 12 from the floor, 2 of 6 from 3, Rui Hachimura 13, 8, and 1, 6 of 8 from the field, 1 of 1 from 3-point range, Anthony Davis 17 points in 18 minutes, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 7 of 10 from the field, 1 of 3 from 3, and LeBron James 16 minutes, 19 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 8 of 12, 2 of 3 from 3. All right, great all-around balance, great all-around attack. It was just defensively, offensively, Lakers were just clicking. That was arguably their best that they've looked thus far through preseason. So hopefully that continues. Right? Hopefully the Lakers continue to show that. My thing is, and I even said this after the Phoenix game, how much of it was that Phoenix is just, they're small and they're not good defensively, right? Phoenix is just trying to outscore you. That's what Phoenix is trying to do, right? They're running kind of that 10 seconds or less, get up a bunch of threes, which, you look at their personnel and you look at the type of team they have, that kind of is what and where you're at and relegated to, because you don't have these great defensive stoppers and whatnot, right? You don't have this great size where you're just dominating down on the block and running this real inside out game. No, you're very limited if you're Phoenix, but it also is concerning and kind of questions how much of it offensively can you look at and go, yeah, the Lakers are just that dominant offensively. Because the Lakers got literally whatever they wanted, whenever they wanted it against Phoenix. But again, their defense is not great. However, that's what you're supposed to do, right? Bad defensive teams, guess what you do? You dominate. You go and you just take the mismatches, you attack the defense, you find the flaws and the holes in their defensive schemes, and you use your size advantage, you hit shots. Right? Great, get to your spots, and you saw everybody do that. Hopefully that can continue. I do have concerns, though, and we need to start kind of cleaning stuff up. Obviously, the turnovers, new system, new offense, you're going to get that, right? Especially when, last season, this team, it was a lot of standing around, a lot of stagnation, not really a lot of movement, where now you're getting all this movement, you're getting guys cutting, you're getting, picks to, you get pickers, and you're getting all this actions literally being stacked on top of each other. Like, it's been great to see. But with that, there is this adjustment period. There is, the lack of just offensive efficiency because guys are just not hitting shots and trying to get comfortable and get their legs under them for the season, as well as just turnovers and creation, right? But got to stick to the game plan. You saw in the last game, Lakers really got off the game plan. When they were moving the basketball and they were sharing the basketball and they were trying to get and generate quality looks, even though they weren't hitting, like they just shot very poorly, they still were looking good, right? You were seeing what you wanted to see. They just were not hitting shots. And it's just like, man, if they just hit half of these attempts that they're missing, Lakers are good luck, right? Like they're running through this team. But got to trust the offense. You got to trust the system. You got to trust what the product that you're putting out there on the basketball court. And even JJ Redick talked about it, him being a player, he can relate. You start 0-3, you're like, man, I got to get going, right? All of a sudden, you start trying to look for your shot rather than looking for the best shot. He talked about it. He dove into all this, and he's right? Like, that is part of how it works, right? Guys, like Dalton Connect and D'Angelo Russell and Austin Reeves, and Austin Reeves has really struggled shooting the basketball, right? And you don't think that he wants to start getting something to fall? You don't think he wants to kind of get reps up in order to do that? But you got to stay within the scope in the realm of the offense, right? But defensively, is where I have my biggest concerns, because defensively, we've just seen they've still struggled defending out on the perimeter, and they just don't have the personnel, right? Like Rui Hachimura, D'Angelo Russell, and Austin Reeves aren't these like ball stoppers, right? Like they're not these great defensive pieces. They're not these guys that are just clamping folks up out on the perimeter. So we got to do a better job of at least just kind of trying to stay in front of guys, right? Running actual defensive schemes that maybe kind of maximize what we do have. Austin Reeves has been good. To Austin Reeves' credit, he's actually been very good defensively. Rui Hachimura talked about how he can defend 1-5, and we've yet to see that. Right? He can't defend the quicker, twitchier guys. He doesn't read and navigate screens well. He's not that defender. He's a guy that can hold his own during the bully ball. Right? Guy trying to back you down, you ain't moving Rui. Good lower center of gravity. He's buckling down. You're not doing that. Right? But we need to see these corrections. We need to see these adjustments. We need to start seeing, again, this is supposed to be a dress rehearsal. I'm not concerned with the bench guys and the G League guys. Even Dalton Connect and Max Christie, I'm glad they're getting reps. I'm glad they're getting opportunities. I'm glad they're getting moments. But they're not going to be, Dalton Connect's not going to be shooting 15 attempts a game. Well, you have games here and there, sure. Same thing with Max Christie. They're not going to be asked to have to create possession after possession after possession after possession. They're not going to be out there with Jalen Hood-Schifino, Colin Castleton, Bronny James, and Maxwell Lewis. Like, that's not happening. Right? They're going to be out there with, LeBron AD and Rui, or, D'Lo, Vando, and AD. Right? You're going to have different lineups. Preseason, right? JJ Redick's throwing out different looks, different styles, different sets. But I care, how did the starters look? How is our offense working? Are we trusting the systems? Are we getting after it on the defensive side? Are we doing the dirty work? Right? Are we building the good habits that you need to build between now and the regular season, so that way when you get to the regular season, you can do that? Are there concerns with this Lakers team? Absolutely. But there's also a lot of things to be excited about, a lot of things that have looked very good for this team. And you need to kind of continue to build towards that and work and fix the things that you need to fix. Again, I don't think the starting unit is going to be an elite defensive team. I just don't see that. Can they be good? Can they be serviceable? Can the Lakers overall be a good defensive team? I do think so, right? Once Jared Vanderbilt comes back and then, Gabe Vincent and Max Christie, you're going to have different looks. But I'm talking specifically the starting unit. I don't think the starters are going to be this great lockdown defensive team. But I do think throughout the course of the game, you're going to get better balance, right? You're going to have times where it's like Gabe Vincent and Reeves and Gabe Vincent and D'Lo, or Max Christie and D'Lo, right? Like, you're going to have different guys, again, Jared Vanderbilt comes back. But I care about, again, building the good habits between now and the start of the season, right? Time's a ticking. We got, these 2 games left, and then a couple days off, and you're going to look up, and then we're playing Minnesota. And it's go time. Let's play Minnesota. That's it. It's go time, baby. Like, we are, 5 days away from the start of the opening season? That's going to be here before we know it. We're going to blink, and Lakers basketball is going to be here in this game 1. And I don't want to start 0-1. Right? Our schedule is brutal to start. I mean, we could easily look up and be 0-5 if we don't do what we need to do and don't buckle down and play the right way. Even all year last year, talked about it. Lakers get 30 assists, they win every time. Don't bail out the defense. Something that J.J. Redick was even highlighting after the last game. Right? That, hey, particularly in the third quarter, we got away from what was working. When it was working, it was great. We just weren't hitting shots, but we were getting open looks. Guys were getting good attempts, right? And then we got away from it, and they just really kind of pushed out and extended. But even then, it was close until then. Right? We got to do a better job of properly, doing what we need to do that gets us there. Now, you look at teams like the Spurs, like the Warriors, right? They're well-oiled machines. More so the Spurs in the heyday, right? People, they're boring. Spurs are boring. No, they never got off the script. They stuck to the script. No matter how bad it was, no matter how good it was, the Warriors, same thing. Right? Even as back to 2022 when they won the chip. Right? One of the reasons why I took them to beat Boston was Boston at that time loved to get off the script. When things were going great, they would stick to the script. Every time things started going bad, it all of a sudden became heavy isolation, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, right? They just got completely away from what worked. But the Warriors, they stick to the game plan. Keep boom, boom, boom. And you even saw it in this previous game. Warriors didn't shoot well either. But the difference was one team stuck to the game plan. One team had, 10 more assists than we did. That's what it's about. We need these guys, particularly the key role guys, to really kind of pick it up. Get things in order. Play the right way. Even when things aren't working, stick to the script. Don't start getting away and getting carried away and start doing this, that, and the other. No, stick to what works. Stick to the game plan. Buy in fully. We got to buy in fully. Start correcting and working on the things that we can correct and work on now. Right? Just, again, generating better quality looks, taking care of the basketball more, right? Those types of things you can fix before the season begins. The lack of defense in the starting unit, again, I don't know how well that's going to be, but, again, proper scheming, proper setup, right? You'd be surprised what can do, what things can evolve from that. But overall, look, not Lakers basketball, let's go, right? I'm excited for Lakers basketball always and will be, but I want to see, again, I don't care so much about the wins and losses. I don't care so much about, like I said, the random G League guys that are never going to see the basketball court outside of garbage time. I don't care about all that. I care about the guys that matter and the rotation and the offense and how are we looking when it counts. That last Phoenix Suns game, Lakers looked they were the better team. They dominated the Phoenix Suns in every facet of the game. And that's what I want to continue to see. That's what I want to continue to build on. I want to continue to see the Lakers play that way. I want to see the Lakers to continue to just take advantages of areas where you can take advantage. Especially because Phoenix, we got to play Phoenix 2 times to start the season. All right? You're playing Phoenix a lot over the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever, by the end of the month, right? So we got to start putting things in gear here. Right? Because, again, looking at the Lakers' schedule, start the season. Again, obviously they play Phoenix now. But your second game of the season is October 25th, and it's against Phoenix. Then you play them again the 28th. Lakers will literally have played Phoenix 4 times in the month of October. These games don't count wins and losses. You know what does? Those 2 games in towards the end of October. Those 2 games matter. Those 2 games count. So we got to make sure we're doing what we're doing. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, and I pass the question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Are you excited for this game? Do you think that the Lakers kind of sew things up and start working towards the regular season? I'm curious to see how much the key guys play this game and the next, because again, it is a back-to-back. Do Lakers kind of play against Phoenix this game and then kind of give them the day off for the next game? That could be very interesting how they play that out. But nonetheless, I am excited. Are you excited for Lakers basketball? Because look, season's right around the corner. Again, we're right there. But how do you feel? Whatever your thoughts are, love to hear it. Let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. Helps me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.